New this morning, legendary former Oklahoma State basketball coach Eddie Sutton has died at the age of 84. Officials tell us Sutton died from natural causes yesterday night at his home in South Tulsa. The Kansas native is known for becoming the first coach to take 4 teams to the NCAA tournament and reaching the Final Four in 1978 with Arkansas and in 1995 and 2004 with OSU. Less than 2 months ago, Sutton was elected to the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. 2 Works for You's Katie McFarland has more on his legacy.
Eddie Sutton was born in Buckland, Kansas, March of 1936. The sharpshooting guard turned down home state KU and a chance to play alongside Wilt Chamberlain for Oklahoma A&M and the chance to play for the great Henry Iba.
He was just a wonderful person and a great coach, and he taught me just a lot of things that I've passed along.
Sutton's coaching career began at Tulsa Central High School in 1959. 7 years later, he arrived at Southern Idaho, and over the next 40 years became, quite simply, one of the greatest coaches college hoops has ever known. The first coach ever to take 4 teams to the NCAA tournament. Creighton, Arkansas, Kentucky, and Oklahoma State all got there. 3 Final Four appearances, starting with Arkansas in 1978 and then OSU in 95 and 2004. 3 times he was National Coach of the Year and one of only 8 coaches ever to rack up 800 victories.
He made something look really easy for so long that it's so hard to do, and that's to win year in, year out, and to win over time, to change with the times.
Sutton's career was not without its valleys. Forced to resign after 4 years at Kentucky, leaving the program on NCAA probation. But that's when he came home and made his final act his greatest.
I've always had a dream that one day I might come back to my alma mater.
From day one, Sutton's Cowboys won big. 13 NCAA tournament appearances, 6 times a regular season or tournament conference champion, and those 2 Final Fours.
Lucas's shot, yes! 3-pointers!
Sutton preached defense and coached his kids hard. When we asked him 4 years ago in his final public interview about the biggest key to all that success,
we treated those players just like they were our children. I mean, we cared for them not only as basketball players, but as people. And that's why we always had players that played their ass off. I mean, because they felt like if they weren't doing the very best they could, that I would be disappointed and the other players would be disappointed if they weren't giving their best.
In the aftermath of the 2001 plane crash that killed 10 members of the OSU basketball family, Sutton was a rock.
Saturday night's tragedy took the lives of 10 people who were precious, not only to their families, but to each one of us.
He would resign 4 years later after a DUI incident, but remained beloved by the OSU faithful and a fixture at Gallagher-Iba Arena, where the Cowboys now play on Eddie Sutton Court. Only last month, in his 7th time as a finalist, Sutton was finally elected to the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. Preceded in death by his wife Patsy, survived by his 3 sons and many grandchildren, including Spencer, who only last week took a high school coaching job in Lubbock, joining his father Sean and Uncle Scott in the family business. Eddie Sutton, one of the most accomplished college basketball coaches ever, an Oklahoma State legend, was 84 years old.